What's happening? Welcome to the first of a series of videos that I'm doing about kayak fishing, about rigging out your kayak without having to drill any holes in it. I am a passionate fisherman. I love kayak fishing, and I just got the 2019 Native Titan 10.5. This is an awesome boat for tournament fishing. It is a Propel style boat. That's what the product's called, that is used to move you along in the water. You pedal with your feet. It is an awesome boat. After a lot of research and trying different boats, this is the one that I've landed on. In the first episode of this series, I want to show you a quick way, a quick install and a quick way to make kayak fishing much more enjoyable, and that is the transport. There's a great video by Native on the Boonedox landing gear system. That being said, not everyone has a Native Watercraft, so if you don't, you got to make sure first, if you're going to do this install, that you have some sort of track system, preferably the Railblazer track system like Native uses. You can add it to any of your boats. My Wilderness years ago had a track system on it, and I had landing gear on that boat. So why is landing gear important? It really just helps getting onto the water and off of the water. Essentially what it is two wheels that help you pick up your kayak from the front end and drag it to the water without having to heave it or drag it on the actual ground and wrecking the body of your investment. So stay tuned and let's get started. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that you have all the parts and pieces needed. So let's go through that real quick. You should have your wheel post, your post mounts, 2 non-deflatable wheels. You should have 4 D-rings, a number 2 or 3 screwdriver, a 4mm hex wrench, 4 set screws, 4 other sets of screws and washers, your slide rail mounts, your 2 twist knobs that are going to lock it in place when you're going to take wheels on and off, and you're going to need your crossbar. For different size boats, you're going to need different size crossbars. For the Titan, it's a little bit wider, so you need a wider crossbar. So, first thing we need to do is mount one of these to our rail on each side. And to do that, we first need to get some plate screws set on the bottom of this, which are going to help hold the crossbar in place. One in there, one in there. And we're just going to screw those in by hand until you can see them sticking through just a little bit. And this will help you see what these are going to do. These are going to hold that bar in place when it's in here. Okay. Those are in. So next we need to mount this right here. The crossbar is going to span across to the other side to the other mount, and then the wheels are going to attach from this side. So we need to slide 2 of these mounts into the rail. And they simply slide down through this groove and slide to where you're going to want them. For me, I recommend right behind your seat. Here's my seat. Right behind the seat is easy, kind of easiest to access, turn around, take off the wheels, but you want to slide them still forward enough so that they're not interfering with your storage of your rods, storage of bait, anything like that. So let's get started here. This part's really easy. Grab one of the screws and the washer. Go ahead and get the washer in place. And you're going to insert, I'll get you to zoom in here. You're just simply going to insert this screw and hand tighten into the slides that you have in place. And repeat on the other one. Okay, those are both in there pretty good, so we're just going to go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. That one's a little too tight. We still want to be able to slide this a little bit, which we can. Perfect. Okay. Now that we have that in place, we're going to move over to the other side, but first we need to make sure that we have our locking. See, this is going to work. There we go. Our locking screw in place. But we don't want to tighten it down too hard. We're going to go ahead and repeat that same step on the other side. As you can see, I've inserted the crossbar already into the adjacent mount. So we're going to go ahead and do the same thing we just did, but with the other side. The system here, but we want to make sure that it's aligned. And to do so, we're going to use those set screws that we put underneath on the bottom here. So as you can see, we're also missing our adjustment tightening screw here. And that again is going to help you lock in the wheels when you put them on and take them off. Now that I think that we have everything where we want it, we're going to make some final adjustments, make sure the crossbar is right where it needs to be, and then we're going to tighten this down. So if you look into this hole right here, this is your accessory hole. You can attach any GoPro accessory, anything you need to that mount right there. I like to look in both sides and make sure that I can see some of this orange down through that hole. If you can see orange down through both, you know you're close enough to being even on each side. I also like to line up the edge of the slide lock bracket that we slid in there and put the screws in with the same area on each side. Both of those are the case right now. So we are going to go ahead and tighten this bad boy up. Another great way to figure out and make sure that your crossbar is even on both sides is just take your screwdriver, slide it in until you hit the crossbar, and make sure that length is the same for both sides. I'm going to go ahead and do what I just did over there. We're going to do that again over here. Our final step is going to be tightening those set screws that we put in the brackets to begin with. Again, we're going to tighten those in place so the crossbar doesn't slide. So here we go. They're a little hard to remember where they were. We're using the 4mm hex wrench. Just go ahead and tighten these on there. There's one. There's two. Let's go over to the other side real quick. And again, these were underneath the brackets. There's one. And there's two. That's on there nice and strong. The final step is attaching your D-rings to your wheel bars. Now these wheel bars are super easy to use. You attach one on, like so. Then you're going to take your wheel, go ahead and put the wheel on. I'll set that down and just show you these. It's your standard D-ring. This part comes off. You go ahead and put that part, the open part in, and then lock it back in place. So you have one on each side, like so. Okay? Go ahead and repeat that set for the other side. Pull it apart, slide in the pin, put it back together. Take your wheel, slide it on, take your pin, pull it apart, put it back together, and relock that in place. Final step, if you take a look, you can see that there's a welded piece here onto the wheel bar. This piece is going to fit into your bracket. And I'll take pictures so you have a better view of this, but essentially, you want it to fit in place. And I can tell already that this is the wrong side. No problem, we don't have to change anything, we just got to grab the other one. And that'll slide. Make sure it's loose. That'll slide perfectly in there. And then you lock it in place, and it should set just like that on the back of the boat. Go ahead and do it on the other side so you can see. There we go. That's in. And there you have it. You'll see we have a few extra parts in there. That's actually for the older natives. They were missing a screw, not missing, but it would help to have an extra screw put in place. We're not going to be using that on the Native Watercraft. This thing is sturdy as you can get on this new Titan. That is how you install that, and this is the up position, and let me show you the down position real quick. So easy to use. You just loosen. Lock that back down in place. Same thing on this side. Lock place. Check this out. There's your landing gear. Going underneath, there's your set screws. There's your accessory hole. You can see the crossbar under there, straight through. And then these sit down like that. Let me go to the light and show you one over there. Check that out. Forward and reverse, easy to use. Put them up when you're loading up or when you're on the water. Put them down when you need to transport something. That is the first of the series that I'm going to do rigging up this boat. I've waited a long time for a boat like this, one that I can work on and make it exactly how I want it. So, like I said, I'm going to be doing a series, a no-drill series. I don't want to drill into this thing any more than you want to drill into your head. So that's step one. I think one of the most important things you can do if you have a heavier kayak is put on landing gear like this. So I hope you enjoyed this series, and if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. If there's anything that you'd like to see put on the boat, please let me know, and we'll see you on the water.